Yo, what's up, MMAHOLIC family? Hope y'all are doing good this evening, or whenever y'all are catching this, of course. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm Antwane. I'm gonna do this UFC 303 breakdown this evening. Clocking this in at about 11:52 at night. We don't always plan to go late, y'all. It's just like given like our schedule sometimes. That's really just how it works out. You feel me? And Nicky had a power outage in his area, and we're trying to see if we can fix that throughout the day. We were gonna go live around like 3 p.m. today. You feel me? Because just gonna be way earlier for the boys, for the viewers. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the Wi-Fi to get fixed, and I got work at my side hustle tomorrow. So I won't be able to do a show tomorrow, unfortunately. So the boy Nicky already gave me the blessing to go ahead and do a show for y'all this evening. Again, I want to thank y'all for joining. Really do appreciate it. Y'all already know. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. Go ahead and give comments. Always always love having all you guys in the chat. My bad, I was reading something. And yeah, outside of that, let me just send this out right quick. And that's it. But yeah, again, want to thank y'all so much for joining. UFC 303, man, Pereira versus Prochazka too. It's a decent card, y'all. I think it's all right. Of course, we've had some stronger international fight weeks in the past. You feel me? But I do think that this card is still pretty decent. I give it that like a 8 out of 10, like 7.5 pre-card breakdown. Maybe I'll change my mind when I'm done watching or like breaking down all the fights. You feel me? And yeah, man, we got Alex Pereira coming back down here trying to add on to his legacy. Of course, we were supposed to have Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler on this card, but of course, Conor had to pull out due to I think it was just pinky toe or something like that. So Conor McGregor did have to pull out of this card, unfortunately. It sucks, man. That McGregor and Chandler card. That fight was supposed to happen, I think, almost like a year and a half ago now, and we still haven't gotten it done. You feel me? But that saying though, great things comes to those, excuse me, who wait. You feel me? And we're gonna see what happens. I want to wish Conor McGregor safe recovery, and shout out to Michael Chandler. I know people are trying to dog him online and stuff like that. Like, man, when you have a Conor McGregor payday on the line like that, I don't think you should give it up either. You feel me? We'll see if it happens, and I hope it does happen for Michael Chandler's sake. He's waited almost 2 years now, so what's a couple more months? You feel me? But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started for you boys and gals. Again, I want to thank y'all again for joining. Always do appreciate it. And yeah, starting out with the first fight of the night, we got Ricky Simone versus Vinicius Oliveira. Ricky Simone, man, he's of course lost his last 2 fights, but like I always say, competition matters. Losing to Mario Bautista and losing to Song Yadong. Now, Song Yadong, of course, is a highly ranked fighter in the bantamweight division, and Ricky Simone, it was a close fight until it wasn't. He lost in the 5th round. We were a fight. He definitely could have won that. You feel me? With this wrestling pressure, but Song's boxing was just a little too much. And then he lost to Mario Bautista, who I also think, if not ranked right now, could definitely be ranked. I think he's a great talent. And like I said, Ricky's a great wrestler, has decent boxing. At 31 years old, you could say he's in his prime right now. Some would argue he's maybe on a decline, given how long he's been in the UFC, and of course, on his losing streak right now. But yeah, Vinicius Oliveira, he's a great fighter himself, great striker, really devastating striker, to be quite honest with you. It's pretty ridiculous. He has like 16 wins via knockout, 3 losses via KO. So, and yeah, like he has 2 wins via submission, 2 wins via decision. So this guy definitely prefers to get the KOs, nothing more, nothing less. And this is a pretty close fight. I've seen a lot of people online go in different ways on this one. It's a pretty close one. Ricky Simone minus 225 favorite. on Topology. I think it's relatively close, man. Me personally in this, because now that I'm thinking about it, I do think it might be a hard fight for Ricky Simone. I know that Brandon Sopai was able to give Vinicius Oliveira to the ground. It was in like the second round when it happened. What's up, Notorious? Thank you so much for joining me, bro. I really do appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for joining me, man. God bless you, dog. I was talking about the Vinicius Oliveira and Ricky Simone fight. Yeah, man. So I haven't made my pick yet, but I was just talking about Vinicius Oliveira. Like, I know he did get taken down by Bernardo Sopai in the second round before he landed the flying knee in the third. But I still think that was kind of like a red flag, because Bernardo, he took the fight on like 3 or 4 days notice. And yeah, man, like he was still giving him a little bit of problems before, the crazy knockout happened. You feel me? And with Ricky, I really think he fought two good dudes in his last 2 fights, man. I think Ricky, like, based off, it's just Song Yadong and Mario Bautista, man. I'll get to your comment in a second. I got you. Hold on, let me make this pick right quick. But yeah, man, going to my thoughts in this fight though. Again, I was gonna go with Ricky Simone, man. I think on a full camp, he can get this done. I don't think he's that chinny, man. He got knocked out in the 5th round by Song Yadong. Of course, we saw what happened against Uriah Faber, but I think he learned a lot from that, man. Not to just go out there and just like leave his chin up in the air and just not get the fight to the ground ASAP against good strikers. You feel me? And of course, we saw after that he beat Ray Borg, he beat Gaetano Perillo, he beat Brian Kelleher, Rafael Assunção, and he took Jack Shores. Oh, you feel me? So I do think that Ricky Simone can get this done. Vinicius is very dangerous, but I think it's going to be a relatively close fight as it plays out. And yeah, I was gonna go with Ricky. And to answer Notorious's comment, Ian, MVP trying to spy on Ian. I'm not, yo, that's pretty crazy. I'm not surprised. What these martial artists do. They resort to whatever tactics they can to get that inside information on their opponents, especially someone like MVP. We know how big of a fight this is for him, and if he gets this win, they could definitely push him to maybe like one more fight before a title shot. No, I mean like how old, and not how old, but how he's older. You feel me? And they're trying to milk as much out of MVP as they can before he retires, coming into the UFC at this later stage. And yeah, man, going to this next fight, Carlos Hernandez versus Ray Seruya. And yeah, bro, like, that was crazy, Notorious. Like, we'll see what happens, bro. We'll see what happens for sure. And yeah, bro, Chama all day, all day. No spoilers though. You feel me? And yeah, man, Carlos Hernandez versus Ray Seruya. So with Carlos Hernandez, this guy is all right. You feel me? I think I like his spinning back fist. Fairly dynamic striker. He has 0 wins via KO. But if you watch him in the cage, he is fairly aggressive on the feet. He will strike. He has 4 wins via submission, 5 wins via decision. So he's never gotten a knockout win, unfortunately. And yeah, man, for Tuts, he lost to Tatsudo Taira in his last fight. Of course, Tatsudo's a great fighter. But like I said, doesn't really have too much knockout power. It has a fairly well-rounded skill set, though. Great good technical striker, and he has decent grappling. Ray Seruya, this guy has looked amazing. I ain't gonna hold you. Even according to Topology, he's the #1 flyweight coming out of Japan. So this dude's pretty good. He's 22 years old, 9-0. So who knows? Maybe him and Tatsudo could face off one day. And this dude's really good, man. He's really gonna come in here as another undefeated flyweight prospect. Like Muhammad Mokaev and Tatsudo Taira. Like I said, Ray Seruya has a lot of wins via KO and submissions. He has 4 submissions, 4 KOs, 1 win via decision. So he's just under 100% finishing rate. And I'm probably gonna go with Seruya in this fight. I'm not gonna play any games with this dude. I do think he is gonna be like that as he climbs up the rankings. I think they're gonna slow roll him because they do want those Japanese prospects. You feel me? And I think Ray Seruya can't go far, man. They really want that Japanese star. We know that Japan, you feel me, Asia is the motherland of martial arts, you feel me? So clearly they definitely want to break into that market. Past China, past Shang Wei Li, you feel me? They're definitely trying to get like that Japanese prospect from Japan. So I think it's gonna be, Ray Seruya or Tatsudo Taira, and I definitely think they're gonna face off one day for sure. They're too young to not face off one day for sure. And yeah, going into my next fight, Andre Arlovsky versus Martin Beday. First off, I want to get a shout out to the future Hall of Famer Andre Arlovsky. This man is 45 years old, turns 46 in February, next February. He's on a 3-5 losing streak and lost to Dante Mays, De Lima, and he lost to Waldo Acosta. It's just unfortunate. He's 34 and 23, so he's steady truckling along. You feel me? But I just think that Andre slowed down drastically in his last few fights. Definitely hasn't looked the fastest. Athleticism has definitely taken a hit. You can say that with his chin too. He has 12 losses via KO, and at heavyweight, that's a lot of damage. You feel me? And yeah, man. So he has 17 wins via knockout, only 3 wins via decision, and 14 wins via decision, 3 wins, via submission. And yeah, man, like again, the Pitbull, the former UFC heavyweight champion. Obviously, this is 20 years ago. I pick him all day to win this fight. But I just think that Martin Beday, can give him some problems, even though Martin Beday is not too crazy himself. We know he did lose to Shamil Gaziev, getting finished in the second round. And we saw how Shamil lost to Jairzinho Rosenstrike, and that was pretty lopsided. So that's not a good loss looking back on it. But either way, yeah, he's younger. He'll be faster, maybe stronger. You feel me? So I think Martin Beday can get it done. I think they're giving him this fight to get a bounce back fight. Not like, he's like a crazy prospect or not like that. Of course, he's a good fighter. He's a UFC fighter. But I just think they're trying to you could say they're trying to give Andre Arlovsky a fight he could win. You feel me? Setting this fight up. You feel me? So, and yeah, I'm going to go with Martin Beday. I would like for Andre to retire. If he does lose this fight, it will be 4 losses in a row for him. So, that's a lot of damage, man. He's already going to the Hall of Fame. You beat the game already. You beat the game years ago when he won the belt. So, he can just retire and call it a day, in my opinion, But moving on, Michelle Waterson versus Julian Robertson. This is a fire matchup for a lot of reasons, you feel me? Yeah, man. So, Michelle Waterson, she hasn't looked that good lately. She's on a 4-5 losing streak. Of course, it's a belt competition with the karate hottie. She lost to Marina Rodriguez, Luana Pinedo, Amanda Lemos, who, former title challenger, and Marina Rodriguez, you feel me? Twice on her losing streak. So her last win was against Angela Hill, which you can make the case that she might not have won that fight. So she could maybe have lost like 7 in a row at that point. Her last victory, like convincing victory, was against Karolina Kowalkiewicz in March of 2019. And yeah, man, I think she's just slowing down. She's 38 years old. Of course, she just doesn't look like it by any means. Definitely not. But Michelle's definitely getting up there in age. She has great kicks, good axe kicks, good body kick, good spinning kicks. Really is a karate fighter. Does utilize the karate skill set. But she's fighting Julian Robertson this time around. I think with Julian Robertson, I just think it's going to be a bad matchup for Michelle. I do think that Julian, she is getting better on the feet, you feel me? But of course, Julian Robertson's known for her grappling and her submissions. I think that alone, I think Julian can get the fight to the ground and get the back of Michelle Waterson, if not get some control time. I do think she can choke her out. And again, she's 29 years old. Jillian's been here for a really long time. She came on the Ultimate Fighter. She was like 4-2. She was 3-2, and she was 22 years old when she came in. So Jillian, I think she has improved definitely. And I think she'll show the improvements in this fight. Of course, it's a 38-year-old Michelle, but Michelle is still a relatively good striker that could offer Jillian problems. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Julian Robertson in this fight. I think she will get the fight to the ground. I think she knows that's a major path of victory, for her. Uh, and I think she can't get it done. I'm probably gonna go Jillian by like a second round submission, more than likely. Um, I do think that she can get the sub. If not, probably go to a decision off a lot of control time, stuff like that. And we'll see what Michelle Waterson decides to do. I watched her media day, and she most definitely still wants to fight. I don't think they'll cut her, even if she loses this fight. She's still very marketable, still a fan favorite. I still like Michelle Waterson. She still comes out to strike. Not a boring fighter. Just really, really struggling as of late. And if they had an atom weight division, where she used to fight in, I think she would have flourished inside the UFC if they could have made an atom weight. But the smallest they have is straw weight, and yeah, I think the best small straw weight is Loma Lookboonmee. I'm really high on Loma Lookboonmee. Those of you who know about her, I think she's really good, really really good striker. But yeah, moving on up the card. Got a banger fight, awesome fight. Peyton Salit versus Giannis Gamori. Yeah, Peyton Salit, this guy's definitely caught some attention ever since coming into the UFC for his different type of style, in and out of the cage, you feel me? I like, his style. It's pretty good for sure. Got my boy Pickham in the chat. What's up, Pickham? Hope you're good, man. Thank you so much for sliding through. Really appreciate you, bro. Of course, I'm like, yo, unfortunately, Nicky could not join for this card because he had a power outage in his region of New York. So I had to roll solo tonight. Got the boy Ernie coming in. Thank you so much for joining, Ernie. Really appreciate you, boys, man. Thank y'all so much, bro. Shout out to you, boys. Also, y'all go subscribe to Pick'em MMA. Really, really cool guy. Great channel. At over 1,000 subs right now, almost to 2K, like he deserves. You feel me? Super hard worker and super nice guy as well. That's my homie, most definitely. And yeah, Peytontt versus Giannis Gamori. Yeah, Peyton is a great striker, like we all know. Really fairly well rounded, to be quite honest. We have seen him taken down before. I think Nickeil was able to take him down. And like the Reyes Cortez fight on Contender Series, I think he just showed like this is good technical striking. And hey, yeah, man, Nicky's good. Just in case I lagged when I was talking there, Nicky's perfectly fine. He had a power outage in where he stays in his region of NY, so he wasn't able to join for this card breakdown this week. And like he was sick last week and he really had a power outage this week. So it was just a series of unfortunate events for the boy Nicky, but he's 100% still here. And I think he's watching right now, actually. So I was talking to him before I hopped on the phone, so he's most definitely still here. And yeah, that's my boy, most definitely. Gonna try to get him in for this next card breakdown whenever we can get it going. And yeah, especially for this UFC 304 card. That's my favorite pay-per-view of the summer. Of course, it's the last pay-per-view of the summer. But of course, it's definitely an awesome one. And we will have him for 304, most definitely. And yeah, going on with my pick on this card, on this fight. Like I said, Peytontt, it's a great boxer. I really, really, really like his style. Ernie B. I really, really, really like Peytontt's style. He has a bleach tattoo in the middle of his stomach. That's pretty cool. I'm a really big fan of Bleach. That's my favorite anime, so I thought that was pretty cool. And he's super athletic. If you actually watch him, he has good footwork. Decent kicks for sure. Great timing on his strikes. We saw that when Cameron Simon tried to take him down, he timed a perfect knee that he took flush to the face, and that was a beautiful knee from Peytontt. Really, really showed his ability to really separate himself in the bantamweight division. That was like a prospect versus prospect fight, And he just like, I don't want to say like, anything super bad about Cameron, but he really did make it like he showed a different level than Cameron Simon in that fight, in the striking, in the grappling, in the physicality, and everything. And the 25 years old, I think Peyton Talbot is going to show a lot as he continues to develop. I think he'll be one of the guys that they push as he continues to get older inside the UFC. Um, and I think they're going to slow roll him too. He could get a ranked opponent after this fight. I don't think he will. Just seeing how the Giannis Gamori dude, isn't the biggest step up in competition. And speaking of Giannis Gamori, I'm going to go ahead and give him his respect. Gamori, he's 29 years old, 5'9" with the 69-inch reach. He's 0-1 inside the UFC. Of course, we saw him lose to William Gomi via body kick. Pretty sure that was on the Paris card. Yes, it was on September 2nd. And yeah, man, that was super unfortunate. Like he came out in his home country, and he got finished in the third round. But I think William Gomi is a really good fighter, though. He has great footwork. He's super, super elite in the striking. And my boy Pickham agrees on Peyton Talbot, saying how he's a great striker, great fighter. And yeah, man, like I wish they gave him a tougher fight too. For sure. But we can try to give him one when this is over, because I definitely think he will give Giannis Gamori some problems in this fight. But yeah, going further on with the skill set, he actually has a lot of wins by finish. He has 3 wins via KO, 4 wins via submission, and 5 wins via decision for Giannis Gamori. So he's fairly well rounded. We know he can go 3 rounds and he can knock you out and choke you out. You feel me? And that was his first ever TKO loss versus William Gomi. So that shows you, the moment you dip your toe inside the UFC, you are subjective to be finished. You feel me? And yeah, man, like he has decent boxing, decent grappling. Like I said, he's really just really, really made for his style. How he'll try to pressure the opponent with his striking to set up his grappling. And yeah, man, but me personally, I don't think he'll really be able to impose his game plan on Peyton Talbot. I think Peyton Talbot will improve the takedown defense from last time we've seen him, and really just capitalize on his momentum, really come out here and like get like a first round finish. I really think he can get a first round finish in this fight. I think he's gonna come out. They're both gonna come out with the International Fight Week crowd. Really get the exchanging in the first round. And I think Peyton can hurt him really badly. If not in the first round, definitely get the finish in the second. Either way, I got Peyton Talbot getting a finish in this fight. I do think it can happen, most definitely. And yeah, I do agree with Pick'em MMA. I don't think he'll get much credit for winning this fight, unfortunately. UFC fighters are high level fighters, period. If y'all ever watch any of like these other like regional MMA cards, stuff like that, you will see a difference in like just the footwork alone from UFC fighters. Like it's always really cool to see like the difference in level if you watch like an ex MMA card or something like that. You feel me? On a late night. You feel me? But moving on up the card, pretty hard fight this one. Charles Jourdain versus Gene Silva. So yeah, man, this is pretty hard. Shout out to my boy Pick'em in the chat. He's also a fellow Canadian, just like my boy Charles Jourdain. But I do think this will be a hard fight for your boy. You feel me? I don't know if Pick'em picked Charles Jourdain, but I'm just saying, for his fellow Canadian. But it's like, man, so Gene Silva, this guy's on a pretty crazy run right now. I know he's 12-2, but he's won like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 fights in a row. It's pretty crazy. And I really do believe in the power of momentum. He has 9 wins via KO, 2 wins via decision, and 1 win via decision. So he almost has 100% finishing rate. He's never been knocked out, never been submitted. We know he comes from that fighting nerds camp, similar to Kyle Bahio. And I really like that camp. I do think they are actually very high level, very good fighters. You know, I believe in the power of preparation, for anything in life, whether you got a job interview, you're taking a girl out on a date, anything like that. I really believe in the power of preparation. And they also believe in that to a T for winning their fights. You feel me? And I think Gene Silva, I think he's a pretty dynamic fighter with his footwork. He'll come. He isn't afraid to strike you. Will come through and brawl, but he also can choke you out. He's gotten guillotine chokes. He's gotten flying knees. But that's his patent submission. Definitely likes the guillotine choke, and he has gotten finishes with the hands before. You feel me? So he can get it done that way. And when Charles Air Jourdain, of course, shout out to MJ. He's still only 28 years old. You feel me? He's still improving himself. I think Charles Jourdain is a good boxer, good technical striker. The only problem with Jourdain has always been fight IQ, and he himself has admitted to that in his fights. Knowing that's the only thing that would stop him from defeating certain opponents that he knows he should beat. 1 minute, y'all, responding to this text. And got it. And then y'all. So we know that Charles Jourdain got a win over Ricardo Ramos. The Kron Gracie fight wasn't really the best, obviously. Unfortunately, Kron Gracie really had to change much of his style before coming back to the UFC from that long layoff, and that didn't really benefit Charles Jourdain, as he wasn't really able to showcase, much of the stuff he had worked on coming off that Nathaniel Wood loss. And man, the Ricardo Ramos win. Of course, Ricardo Ramos, he's on a loss streak himself right now, unfortunately. And he just got choked up by Julian Rosa after Charles Jourdain. So, it's not really the best wins you could say. Any loss to Sean Woodson. Of course, that was a split decision, but I did think Sean Woodson definitely could have won that. I thought that was really a unanimous decision. I thought Sean Woodson did look better than a split. Excuse me. And of course, in pertaining to his skill set, he is a good striker. He has good body kicks. Like I said, good footwork, great leg kicks. He's fairly athletic. He has a good gas tank. He has 2 wins via decision, but he can go 3 rounds. He has 6 losses via decision, which that shows you, that 7 of his 6 losses are via decision. So he could have a whole different record if he would have had, a different level of effort in his fights, or if there's a different set of judges, stuff like that. And man, he's a good striker, like I said. It's just with Charles Jourdain, it's just the IQ. So for me in this fight, I was going to go with man, damn. It's a relatively close fight. If you look on Tapology, Charles Jourdain is the favorite. But if you go down to the voting, Gene Silva is ahead 54% to 46%. You feel me? So I was probably going to go with Gene Silva in this fight, to be real. I'm not going to lie. I do think he can get it done via decision. I think he can just win anywhere the fight goes. Hold on. Yo, can you hear me? Just want to make sure I'm not muted. Hold on. Bet. Yeah, Pickham, you can let me know if I'm still muted, please. Just want to make sure I'm good. All right, bet. Yo, you gave me a heart attack. Yo, chill out. Nah, you're good, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you again for joining. You're good, bro. But yeah, I was gonna go with Gene Silva. I think he can win anywhere the fight goes. I think he can win the striking exchanges, and he can win if the fight does hit the ground. And yeah, man, I was gonna go with Gene Silva. Probably get the win via decision. I don't think he's gonna knock out Charles Jourdain. He could choke him out, like Julian Rosa did, get a Darce choke, something like that. But I do think that Gene Silva can get the win via decision, and that's what I was gonna go with. Going to this next one, dare I say this is a legends bout, and I'm kidding, but one of them definitely is a legend, in Cub Swanson versus Andre Fili. So yeah, Cub Swanson versus Andre Fili. Um, it's a banger matchup, man. But it's like both guys have taken their fair amount of damage in their last recent outings. You know, Cub Swanson, he's coming off a win over Hakeem Dawodu. It's really funny when I hear my boy Pick'em talk about that fight on his channel. He always makes me laugh. He's just really funny. Even Cub Swanson himself thought he didn't win that fight. You know, when he beat Hakeem Dawodu, so he could be coming out on a 2-fight losing streak. You know, after because he lost to Jonathan Martinez before that, with brutal leg kicks, and we know it. Cub Swanson, you know, he likes to strike, still likes to strike, even at 40 years old for Cub Swanson, he is now. He still likes to strike, you know. But I just think at 29 wins and 13 losses, that's a lot of fights, man. Um, like that's a lot of damage on the body, a lot of experience though. At the same time, if you want to say it like that, you feel me? And and yeah, man, for Andre Fili, you can make the case for this guy too. He has grown up inside the UFC. He's 11-10 inside the UFC. So just a lot of fights, man. Fought a lot of people. You know, of course, you know the infamous KO from Yair Rodriguez. That was a beautiful switch, like your switch jumping kick that Yair landed on Andre Fili. And you know, but he's still always rebounded. He's on a win loss streak. So by that metric, he's bound to get a win here. And I'm actually gonna pick Andre Fili. I think he come out here and get the victory. I think he'll be the faster striker in the exchanges. It's just his chin has to hold up. His chin has to hold up. I think if he comes out with some good leg kicks, he can slow down Cub, who's slowed down already. You know, it's due to father time, and I think Andre Fili can get the victory here. And yeah, man, I was gonna go with Andre via decision in this fight. Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm really sorry about that. Um, I think my Wi-Fi just went out. That's never happened to me before. Um, when I shout out to my boy Pick'em again for joining. Yeah, I'm on my phone right now, but yeah, I'm pretty sure my Wi-Fi just went out. That sucks, man. This literally just happened out of nowhere. You know, of course, sometimes you know you just can't control this kind of stuff. You feel me? Um, like I said, my co-host Nicky was also dealing with some Wi-Fi issues as well, and Just really unfortunate. But yeah, I'll probably have to end the stream here. I can go ahead and give y'all boys my main card picks though. Yeah, y'all. I was gonna go with Alex Pereira via KO. I just don't think Gary has enough time to make enough adjustments to really round out his skill set to get the victory. I was gonna go with Alex Pereira. Um, Again, like we'll see who Yuri fights after that. I think after Alex beats Yuri, I think Alex will fight Magomed Ankalaev. Again, y'all, I'm trying to fix my laptop. My Wi-Fi just went out. That's crazy, y'all. But yeah, I do think that Alex Pereira will get it done. Unfortunately for Yuri, he's only 31 years old, so I don't know if he'll be able to get another title shot anytime soon. He's just gonna have to, see what he can do. What's up, better? Yo, my bad for this, man. My Wi-Fi just went out when I was using my laptop, so I just thought I'd finish it off my phone. Definitely don't want to leave y'all, just hanging like that. You feel me? But yeah, I was gonna go with Alex Pereira to knock out Yuri Prohaska in the first round. I think it will be like a first round KO this time. I think they're gonna come out just be really aggressive to each other. Um, and like I think they're gonna get to exchange it. And Yuri just fought. Yuri took more damage in that Rakic fight than Pereira took against Jamal Hill. So I do think that it's gonna affect Yuri Prohaska, and I'm gonna go with Alex Pereira. Co-main event: Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. I was gonna go with Brian Ortega to beat Diego Lopez. I think Brian Ortega, like in a fight where two dudes have really good jujitsu, I'm gonna pick the guy who's been training with the Gracies since he was like 14 years old. You feel me? Also, Brian Ortega is still a good boxer in my opinion. Um, still has a really good chin. We saw him weather that storm from Yair Rodriguez and still get the submission after fighting back, and that was an elevation as well. So we know he still has a good gas tank. And yeah, I think Diego Lopez he has a good skill set himself. He has great power, great submissions off his back. Really versatile grappler. I just think he's not gonna show Brian Ortega anything he's never seen on the ground before. And I do think Brian, it's gonna be crazy grappling, but I do think Brian can get it done. I'm gonna go with Brian, but third round submission. And the feature bout, Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze. I was gonna go with Anthony Smith in this fight. It's just he had a full training camp while training with Carlos Ulberg. I just think Roman Dolidze is taking it on too short of notice right now. I think Anthony Smith's gonna be a little bit more prepared for this fight. We know Smith's a good boxer, so has good grappling. We saw him submit Vitor Petrino in his last fight, to take Vitor Petrino's zero, of course. And Anthony Smith, he has a lot of experience, of course. One of the biggest pros about picking him in fights. Um, and yeah, like I think Roman Dolidze can't really show him anything he's never seen before, and I think he's gonna be a problem for Roman Dolidze. We'll see. I do think Roman Dolidze is gonna be the better kickboxer, you could say. Um, but I think that Roman's gonna gas out as the fight turns into a war, and I think Anthony Smith, who had a full training camp, I think he'll be prepared for those scrambles, for those like those clinches up against the cage, and I think that Anthony Smith can get it done via decision. Um, Roman Dolidze could get it done. If he does, it'll have to be like in the first round. Also, we did see, Roman Dolidze's chin is starting to go a little bit. We know that he was getting beat up by Nasruddin Imavov, and of course we saw Imavov beat up Cannonier. But I think that Smith can still get it done with his boxing alone. And yeah, I was gonna go with Anthony Smith via decision. Um, Myra Bueno Silva versus Macy Chiasson. I was gonna go with Myra Bueno Silva in this fight. Yeah, I think she gassed out versus Raquel Pennington, but this is a three rounder, and I think she's definitely learned from her mistake in the Raquel Pennington fight. We know she's at American Top Team, a really good gym, and they're gonna help her round out that part of her game, and really make sure she doesn't gas out in a pivotal fight. And I think she still has good power. She has great jujitsu, great killer instinct. We saw her get the standing ninja choke over Holly Holm, which was phenomenal to watch, And with Macy Chiasson, she has a big reach advantage in this fight, a big reach advantage, and she still has good footwork and stuff like that. But I do think that Myra can get her down. I think she'll be more physically stronger. I think she'll have some good sweeps, some good trips, and I think she'll be able to take her back some point in like the second round and get a submission. If not, just get some control time. So I was gonna go with Mara Bueno Silva by like a second round submission, but it could be like a decision win for her. And yeah, my last fight to pick for you guys tonight. Again, I'm really sorry about my Wi-Fi cutting out, y'all. My laptop still hasn't connected back to the StreamYard yet, so I really have to use my phone to end it. But the last fight, I was going down the pay-per-view, Ian Gary versus Michael Venom Page. So I was gonna go with Ian Gary in this fight. I know a lot of people don't like Ian Gary, y'all. For his personality and stuff like that. But I do think he is a really, really high level striker. People like to rag on him about the Jeff Neal fight, but I think that like, what are you supposed to do against a power puncher like that? Like, if you were to get clipped and hit like that, they would say, "Oh, Ian has bad defense." But the fact that he picked him apart from range, they try to say he's boring. I still think it's just the fact that people don't like Ian Gary, and I still think he's a really high level striker. We saw him finish Daniel Rodriguez the way that he did. Um, Finish Sunken on, finish Jordan Williams, you know. And I think he's just a high level striker. Any test he's needed to pass, he's passed it. And Neil Magny is hard to finish. I think a lot of people wanted Gary to finish that fight, which I get it. Especially after all the stuff he said at the press conference. But I think that Ian Gary, like I think Neil Magny was hard to finish, and I think it was cool for Ian to really go 3 rounds and really show he can just give a master class over 3 rounds just over and over. So for this fight, and of course Michael Venom Page, he has a really awkward style. MVP looked great against Kevin Holland. You feel me? And he has a great style. Really, really dynamic striker. How will move in and out. That might give Ian some problems in the first round. But I do think he's really a really smart guy. I think he's gonna close the distance and force MVP to fight. Also, I do think Ian Gary is way faster on the feet than Kevin Holland, and that's gonna give MVP some problems. So yeah, y'all, I was gonna go with Ian Gary via decision in this fight. Also, I think he might try to wrestle. It might be kind of a boring fight at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I do think Ian's gonna try to wrestle. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter, Ian Gary. So yeah, y'all. I'm gonna go with Ian Gary. Again, I want to thank y'all for joining me on this podcast tonight. Again, really unfortunate. I mean, my friend, Nicky had some Wi-Fi issues too. Next thing you know, I catch the bug. You feel me? So, I want to thank y'all again for joining. I want to thank Better MMA for joining, Pick MMA for joining, and the Notorious, of course. I want to thank anyone that was watching. I really do appreciate y'all. And God bless y'all. And good night. And please catch us next week for our other stream as well. I don't know if there's a fight card next Saturday. I know that um, Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal are fighting, so we might do a little something for that. But definitely catch us for the UFC Denver breakdown for sure. Always love doing cards that have fans, so got to do that. And definitely catch us for our UFC 304 breakdown. Gonna have a special guest for that one, so. Thank y'all so much, and God bless y'all.